Woodruff, and our daughter Nellie. William was a homeopathic doctor.
I was a physician with a holistical approach to health and treatment for the sick. I graduated from Hanneman Medical College in Pennsylvania, class of 1882. Now, along with traditional medical education, they also offered training in homeopathic practice.
Today you know it as Drexel University. William, why don't we tell them a little bit about ourselves before we start in our story?
Oh, okay. I was born in 1860 in Camden, New Jersey, and lived there until I left for college in Pennsylvania.
I was born in Canada in 1869. My given name was Mary Ellen Lyons. William and I met here in Long Beach, and we were married in 1906.
And this is our story. Now, when I began practicing medicine, tuberculosis was a common diagnosis. So common that it caused 1 in every 7 deaths.
It struck the rich, the poor, the young, and the old, and no family was spared. No one knew what caused it, but it seemed to run in families.
But as it turned out, it wasn't hereditary. It was contagious. Now, in 1882, scientists discovered the bacterium responsible for the disease. It was an airborne infection, usually spread by coughing. Sorry.
And it took another 60 years for them to find a cure.
I was intrigued by the new thinking about treatment and prevention of TB and other diseases. I particularly admired Dr. John Kellogg and his Battle Creek Sanitarium in Michigan.
Dr. Kellogg believed that people could be healed with exercise, healthy eating, and innovative therapies like solar therapy, using the power of the sun.
I found Dr. Kellogg's sunlight therapy very persuasive. One had to look no further than the book of Genesis. Let there be light. Now, of course, sun can be scarce in Michigan, so they use bottled sunlight.
You might know it as a light bulb. Doctors often advise their tuberculosis patients to move to warmer or drier climates, places like Arizona and Southern California.
Places with sunlight. I tell you, it's essential to human health.
Long Beach had the sunlight and the healing properties of the ocean. Dr. William Harriman Jones was here, and he was also a great follower of Dr. Kellogg. So much so that he was building a sanitarium of his own based on the one in Battle Creek.
Medicine was my calling, and the more people I could help, the better. As it turned out, I liked what I heard about Dr. Jones, and so by 1900 I had a license to practice here in California.
In 1907, Dr. Jones opened the Long Beach Sanitarium on 10th and Linden, and people couldn't wait to get a look inside.
They came to see the therapeutic baths and the machines that promised to jiggle fat away.
Oh, and to see the chefs create meals from nature, with no meat, no condiments, no chocolate, no coffee.
Now, I admired what Dr. Jones was doing, but I thought I could do even more for patients. And so I opened my very own sanitarium the very next year.
It was the Woodruff Sanitarium on Cedar, just a block from the ocean. People came in with all sorts of ailments.
Some had TB, some wanted to lose weight, others complained of rheumatism or had vague symptoms like lethargy.
Some people brought their drunken relatives in, hoping we could help dry them out.
Now, although their symptoms were different, the fundamental problem was electrons. Disease comes from a disturbance in the electron balance. Humans are like storage batteries. If the electrons are scarce or excessive, then disease is the result.
The static room was used to make sure that the electron balance was normal.
Electrical coils formed a cylinder that surrounded but didn't touch a patient, and it delivered a mild current that restored their electron balance.
Our solar therapy was a box with a lid that contained rows of electric lights, and the patients would lay in the box with the light shining on them.
Right, the lights, it took in the open capillaries and destroyed germs. Now, when bodies are in balance with the sun, our cells vibrate 45 billion times a second.
William also presented papers at medical conferences and wrote a series of books for physicians entitled Therapeutics of Vibration.
Copies of my books were held in one of the libraries at Harvard.
And we also put out together a magazine called Sunlight, and it to show the general public how to live healthy.
One day a couple appeared at our clinic. The woman was having a child.
And it wasn't before long that she gave birth to a little boy.
The delivery took the last bit of energy she's had. She died a few weeks later.
The father was not in a position to raise the child. The father was not in a position to raise the our daughter Nellie.
Now, I had definite ideas about children's health. We took our children outside to soak up the sun without the barrier of clothing. And in the summer, we slept in the yard as nature intended.
In the winter, we wore light cotton gowns.
Now, I was what you would call the leader of the anti-vax movement. I was against vaccinations for children. Now, that caused a rift with Dr. Harriman Jones.
In 1907, more than 2,000 children were enrolled in the schools of Long Beach, and vaccinations were required for registration.
I supported the parents who didn't want their children vaccinated.
Some of the school board members argued that children shouldn't have to be scratched to attend class.
The parents threatened to leave town. Two members of the Board of Education, they resigned.
Dr. Jones was by then the city's health manager, and he stepped in and upheld the ruling.
Yeah, well, I wholeheartedly disagreed with that decision, but we didn't have kids in school, so I accepted the defeat.
William's own end came rather unexpectedly.
I was assisting another physician with a patient, a man who'd come to us for help with his weight.
Suddenly, this 260-pound man fell forward.
I braced to catch him. I couldn't let him fall to the ground.
Well, the exertion of catching him and holding him upright ruptured a vessel in his lung. For a week, the doctors tried to save him, but they couldn't.
I died on February 4th, 1910. A few weeks later, our daughter Nellie died during a routine surgery to remove her adenoids. She wasn't even 2 years old.
I was heartbroken. I sold the sanitarium, and Lawrence and I moved to a home on Terminal. And eventually, I remarried and moved to Northern California.
Lawrence grew up to be a fine young man, though. But during the World War II, he served in the Navy and was stationed here in Long Beach.
I stuck with William's ideas of healthy living. I lived to be 88 years old.
Ellen, you make me proud. Well, sadly, our sanitarium is gone now. There's a condo complex where it once stood. You know, I wonder if the people who live there share our same ideas about health.
I don't imagine that they sleep naked in the backyard, but I'm sure they enjoy the sun and the ocean as much as we did.
Well, thank you for listening to our story, and thank you for supporting the Historical Society. Now, go soak up some sunshine, keep your electrons in balance, and have a wonderful day.
Where can I buy one of those?
Well, here, sign up right here.